Is this glass half full or half empty? The answer of this very common and famous question will depend on the way we see things in life. Optimists usually possess a positive perception about life. Pessimists, on the other hand, tend to view life in a negative way. Prepare a pen and a paper for this test. It will be followed by a brief analysis about why your results are important and what to do about them. Answer each of the following questions by choosing one of the three answers that is most applicable to you. Write on the paper in front of you the letter corresponding to your answer. When you look at your life in general, do you consider yourself A. to have had a lot of bad lucks, B. have had about the same number of ups and downs as the average person, C. have been very lucky in life? Are you afraid of breaking a mirror in case it brings bad luck? A. Yes. B. Maybe. C. No. Do you believe it's necessary to risk in order to collect? A. People who risk are just as likely or even more likely to lose money. B. Sometimes if you are brave enough. C. Yes, generally this is the rule I believe in. When you check into a hotel, do you make sure that you read the fire regulations? A. Usually. B. Sometimes if I happen to notice them. C. Rarely or never. In a critical situation, do you believe in preparing yourself for the worst-case scenario? A. Yes, it's wise to do so. B. In certain situations, it may be best to consider the worst-case scenario. C. No, because then you may be worrying about something that may never happen. If you take your car in for a service, are you confident that the garage will do a good job? A. I'm not that confident. B. Usually. C. Yes, I am confident that they will do a good job. Do you ever wish you were someone else? A. Frequently. B. Occasionally. C. Rarely or never. Is your next success or big hit going to happen soon? A. Most probably not. B. Possibly. C. Certainly. Do you think the good guys always win? A. They should, but usually this doesn't happen. B. Perhaps they do, taking everything into consideration. C. Yes, they always do in the long term. Would you describe yourself as a realist? A. Yes. B. Sometimes. C. No. How frequently do you enter a competition with the aim of winning something? A. Rarely. B. Occasionally. C. Frequently. Are good luck and riches only for the courageous? A. Not necessarily. B. Sometimes. C. Yes. If something goes wrong, how easy is it to put things back on track? A. Usually very difficult. B. Sometimes it's difficult, but usually not impossible. C. There's a solution to every problem. Do you like to keep your hopes high at all times? A. No, that's a definite way to be disappointed. B. I believe in keeping my hopes realistic. C. Yes. How many times have you lost sleep because of your anxiety? A. A lot of times. B. Sometimes. C. Rarely. Do you think that every time you have a good laugh, something bad is going to happen next? A. Always. B. Sometimes. C. No. How often do you worry about your financial situation? A. Frequently. B. I believe in living within my resources, otherwise I might find myself worrying. C. Rarely or never. Do you believe that it's possible to take something positive out of every difficulty? A. No, some things are so terrible that there is nothing positive that can be taken from them. B. Not sure. C. Yes. When the post or a letter arrives, what do you expect? A. More bills. B. More junk. C. I don't know until I look at it. If at first you don't succeed, A. You curse your luck. B. You think about where you went wrong. C. You try again. Do you think other people see you as a positive person? A. Maybe not. B. I don't really know. C. Yes, in general. If something unexpected happens in your life, do you think there is a reason for it? A. Not at all. B. Not necessarily. C. I try to make use of all the events that happen in my life. Do you ever create your own defensive protection against the consequences of what the future may bring? A. Yes. B. Perhaps. C. Not really. What is your attitude to worry? A. I'm a worrier by nature. B. I worry from time to time, as I suspect do most people. C. I try not to worry, as in many cases, the things that we worry about never happen anyway. Do you think it's possible to create your own misery? A. No. If misfortune is going to happen, there is usually little that can be done about it. B. Unfortunately, we make a big deal out of the misfortunes we encounter. C. Yes, but it's just as easy then to talk our way out of it. Now give yourself 2 points for every C answer, 1 point for every B, and nothing for A. If your total score is between 30 and 50, you have the ability to look on the bright side on almost all occasions, and that out of every bad event, something positive can emerge. By possessing this attitude, you are able to get the best out of life. On the other hand, watch out not to become easily shocked if you become naive about life's harsh realities. If your total score is between 21 and 29, you know that there are ups and downs in life. You are a realistic person, and unlike the pessimist, you do not tend to exaggerate the low points in your own mind. If your total score is 20 or below, although you might prefer to describe yourself as a realist, your score suggests that you are a pessimist. You can be perceived by others as a negative person. You may also frequently suffer from a degree of inner confusion and loss of sleep. The cycle you are trapped in is the fact that in order to protect yourself from the consequences of the future, you expect the worst out of everything. And if something good happens, you feel good until you start to prepare yourself for the next potential catastrophe. Your pessimistic attitude does not make anything better or worse in the end. And in some cases, it can cause worry that can lead to stress-related illness. What to do then? You can stop negative statements. Continuously referring to yourself or to life in a negative way keeps pessimism in your mind. For example, instead of saying, "I always let my friends down," think about the sentence, "Do you really let them down all the time? In every gathering? How do you know that they are disappointed? Did they tell you this, or it's just your perception?" You can also surround yourself with positive people, and instead of hiding behind the walls of pessimism, get into action and make some change. Volunteer when you can, offer compliments. And finally, if this constant stress is worrying you and hurting you, consider seeking help with a therapist, because you might have hidden scars you need to heal. Also, keep in mind that whatever things you are worrying about, most of the times never happen. Research has shown that optimists respond to bad events in a more psychologically beneficial way. They also have lower cholesterol levels. In addition, positive thinking may boost the immunity and reduces the risks of infections. On the opposite side, pessimists have usually higher blood pressure throughout their life and are at a higher risk of cardiovascular problems.